right, welcome in, welcome back, folks, to a reaction to the preseason coaches poll top 25 edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, you can find that program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. Appreciate that as well. Notifications on. You'll be alerted every time a new episode drops. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want me. You can get me 312-900-8815. Call in line. More on that as the season approaches. I think you're going to like what I have in mind. So, coaches poll is out. I don't believe the AP's out yet, but the coaches poll's out. Maybe I missed it. So, I want to go over this and just give a couple thoughts on the positioning of some of these teams. Now, let's start here. I don't think there should be any polling till about 5 or 6 weeks into this season, when everybody has a body of work and they're getting into conference play and not Central High School down the street, that kind of thing. But you know how it is. It's TV ratings, it's articles, it's clicks, it's content. I mean, I'm doing a show about it. So the media is the reason that there's rankings when there's nothing to rank yet. So I've never liked that. I would wait till week 5 or 6 and then analyze everybody's body of work. I think that's fair. But the media won't have it. They want their clicks. They want their revenue. So it is what it is. That's just the way it goes. Now, also, it's the coaches poll. So automatically, there's going to be biases towards and against certain teams and conferences and rivals and all that. And I don't even think the head coaches do this. I'm pretty sure the SIDs do this on their behalf. I don't think you have Nick Saban in there sitting there taking an hour to think all this out. I don't think that's how the coaches poll works. Right? Even though they call it that. So that makes this a little difficult to look at with a clear perspective, right? The other issue that makes this project hard for somebody like me is I can't help but to look at these teams in the framework of what their path to being great and the playoff this year looks like, right? Like Alabama and Georgia have it harder in their conference to reach their goals than I think USC does, because I think the Pac-12 is pretty bad, right? Like, does that make sense? Like, these are the rankings, but the hurdles in place for them to be fulfilled are less or more challenging for some of these teams, depending on their schedules and conferences. So that's a little nebulous and tricky to look at as well. Let's take a look. Number 1, Bama. 2, Ohio State. Georgia 3, Clemson 4, Notre Dame 5, Michigan 6, A&M 7, Utah, Oklahoma, Baylor, Oklahoma State, Oregon, NC State, Michigan State, USC 15, Pitt, Miami, Texas, Wake, Whiskey, Kentucky, Cincy, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Houston. That's your preseason top 25 coaches poll. I got 10 observations out of this. 1, Bama and Ohio State over Georgia, the previous champions, I think tells you something about what these people think of all these operations overall. Even though Georgia's the defending champ, Bama won, Ohio State 2. I think that's somewhat telling. Number 2 observation, top 5 matchup right out of the gates between Notre Dame, OSU. You got a 2-5 right out of the gate. One will drop. One will be in prime pole position. Who's it going to be? Can't wait and see. Hope it's ND. Number 3, Clemson sitting there at number 4. I feel like they're getting a lot more respect from the coaches than they are regular fans of other programs. I feel like there's this vibe that like Clemson's heyday's gone. They're on the decline. I don't see it that way. They're not being talked about the same way they did when they were on their extremely hot run. But there's a lot of talent there. That defense is going to be great. Their offense may look iffy. That defense is going to be great. And we're going to have to match up against it. Okay? So Clemson, in the general fans' opinion, I feel like it's being slept on, but they're getting a lot of respect here. Number 4, Michigan at number 6. Whatever. The reality is they don't play their first game is Iowa in mid-October. They do not play anyone alive, anyone that knows what football is until then. They are going to be artificially inflated way up the top 5 by virtue of that fact. So they're already starting at 6. Notre Dame or Ohio State's going to lose. Michigan doesn't play a real football program till mid-October. They're going to be way artificially inflated, which means their fan bases, I'm not looking forward to it. Their fan base is going to buy into all that, believe they're more than they are, whatever. That's just, I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. They don't play anybody till mid-October. So in the top 5, they shouldn't lose before then. Fan base is going to be chippy, running their mouths about how they beat up on Hawaii and UConn. Congratulations. Hate it, but that's what it's going to be. Number 5, Texas A&M at 7. Believe it when I see it. I just don't trust Jimbo as a good coach. Talent collector, sure. NIL payment distributor, sure. Good head coach, I don't believe it. I will believe it when I see it with Jimbo at Texas A&M. Number 7, I don't think so. 3 or 4 losses easy. Number 6, Oklahoma, Baylor, Oklahoma State are all kind of stacked up. 9, 10, 11. Again, that's just kind of whatever to me. That's what this indicates. They're all in there close to each other. That conference is a round robin. They all just beat the hell out of each other anyways. But I do think it's interesting how they're all kind of in a row, all in that conference. Interesting. Number 7, Utah at 8. This is a great spot for Utah. I hope they win the Pac-12 and their physicality beats the hell out of USC and Oregon. And I'd love to see Utah win that conference. So them sitting at 8, I like. I really want to see them at some point bully USC around this year. All right. Number 8, bullet point, MSU at 14. I don't care where they're at now. Just beat Michigan. That's it. Just beat Michigan. That's what I need you to do. Beat Michigan. Number 9 item, Texas and Miami, 17 and 18 back-to-back. You go ahead and put them back-to-back because all you hear from their fan base is that they're both back all the time. Either one of these teams wins a game and they're back. So it's perfect to have these two teams that are always back while also literally being never back-to-back. Number 10, USC sitting at 15. Whatever. It's a glorified 7-on-7 team that is going to outscore most Pac-12 teams that can't hang with them. All I know is Notre Dame needs to win this game this year. That is a huge priority, huge deal to me. You cannot, under any circumstances, allow Lincoln Riley to come in here with a roster he's only halfway through flipping and let him beat Notre Dame and flip this rivalry. And then between the new coaches, that's the one with the power dynamic win. No. Notre Dame cannot afford to give up the momentum in this rivalry year one. Cannot. USC has a lot more to rebuild than Notre Dame does roster-wise from the previous regime. You cannot let this rivalry flip on you year one. You cannot let that happen. I don't care if you lose to Clemson, you lose to Ohio State, whatever. You can't lose that one. You cannot lose that one and let that dynamic flip on you under any circumstances. So those are my top 10 immediate reaction thoughts to this top 25 list. You guys let me know what you think or what I've missed or who should be in the top 25 that isn't. Iowa, Penn State, what do you think? I don't know. Let me know. We'll talk to you. Have a good one.